I'm Paula Deen, and I want you to join me today in paying tribute to America's creamiest, dreamiest dessert treat. You know, there's nothing quite like a good old-fashioned ice cream, and today I'm going to show you what you can do with ice cream that's fresh from the farm or your freezer. First, I'm going to orchestrate an Oreo delight that's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Then the heat is on with a mouth-watering mudslide pie that will have your family licking their plates. And for a final fling, I'm going to show you how to do it Alaskan style. So come on in and close the door behind you, because it's going to get chilly in here. I started cooking when I was 18 years old as a new bride. I'm very lucky because I came from a family of wonderful Southern cooks. And at 42 years old, I was faced with having to support myself and my 2 sons, so I turned to my first love, which is cooking, and so I started cooking for a living. I think food is such a big part of family, and I hope that y'all can watch me and learn to have fun with yours while building wonderful memories around the food that you're preparing. Hey y'all! Today's show is going to be so creamy and so dreamy. And speaking of cream, today I'm making ice cream. So we're going to go out and we're going to find the freshest cream in the valley, even if I have to milk the cow myself. Throughout the entire country, there's only a handful of farms recognized for not only their excellence in how they raise their cattle, but how good their finished product is. And Ronnie Brook ice cream is one of the best buckets of ice delights. So when it comes to cows and cream, the man to meet is Ronnie, one of 3 brothers who turned their family farm into a center of dairy delicacies. Ronnie, how much cream or milk will you get out of Roberta here a week?
Well, what you do is you milk the milk, and then there's cream in the milk. She milks approximately 120 pounds a day, so she'll milk in a week 840 pounds.
840 pounds a week
Of milk.
Of milk she'll produce.
Cream she'll only make 84 pounds.
Well, that's all right. I don't need but about a pound.
And you're all set. Well, we're going to have a lot left over. What should we do with it?
You're going to be making ice cream.
Oh, yes.
Ronnie and his brothers Sid and Rick have stuck to the same methods that their great-grandparents used when they first started the farm. Their cattle feed on nothing but fresh grass in the summer and hay in the winter. The result is a high butterfat cream that is the starting point for their outstanding ice cream. And because they make their cream in small batches, it's delivered fresher to the ice cream bucket. The result is definitely in the taste. Guys, I'm here today because I'm making easy homemade Oreo ice cream. And I see you have the best dairy products. Why?
There's a certain consistency about what we do, because we not only sell this finished product, but we breed the cows, we plant the crops, and we use our milk and cream products to make our ice cream, and it goes directly from the farm to the ultimate consumer.
Well, let me ask you this. Why are y'all still bottling it in the glass?
The flavor of milk doesn't change in a bottle. The plastic has a slight flavor to it, and that flavor may get absorbed, and usually does get absorbed, into the bottle.
I can't wait to sample your ice cream.
This is Columbia County coffee.
And see, I love that soft part.
Well, that's, yeah.
I think we'll try it too.
Yeah.
No, you can't have any. It's so unbelievably heavenly.
What we tried to do with our ice cream is have you taste what we're known for as our milk, because that's the first product we had. So we want you to be able to taste the richness of the milk and cream, but still get all the flavors like that Sid has made up. But that's the first thing we tried to do.
We got the ice cream, guys. Come on, let's go. Follow me. So I'm hitting the road where my kitchen and cookies are waiting. All right, I'm ready for my Oreos. And today I'm starting by making easy homemade Oreo ice cream. And it's gonna be so easy, you're not gonna believe it. We're gonna start with just eggs, and we're gonna put our whites over here, because for this recipe, all we need is the yolk. But I am going to be using these whites later on. I personally have never made an ice cream without eggs. And I know some people are a little concerned about it, but I have to tell you, I think my chances of being bit by a diamondback rattler are much greater than salmonella from these eggs. And that's for a couple of different reasons. One is because I make sure I always use fresh eggs that have not expired, and I never use an egg that I did not crack myself. So I feel totally safe, and I've been making ice cream now with raw eggs since I was 18 years old. So it's not an issue with me. And we're going to start by just beating these up. And then we're going to add sweetened condensed milk. I love sweetened condensed milk, just straight out of the can. All right, we're going to take our whisk and whip those together. The next thing we're going to do is crush up our Oreo cookies. We're going to just put our Oreo cookies in a freezer bag, a Ziploc bag. We're going to dump them in there. And as we close our bag, we're going to squeeze the air out of it. And we're going to take a rolling pin and just crush. Now you can do that one of two ways. You can roll it, or you can take your rolling pin and actually just hammer on them. And I'm going to move them over here to this surface where I have a little bit more room and just roll. And then I'm going to hit. And then I'm going to roll. I can't figure out what kind of mood I'm in today. A rolling or a hitting mood. And you can see we've got those Oreo cookies nice and crunched up, and we're going to just fold those right into our eggs and our condensed milk. You know, on today's market, you really can go out and buy some premium ice creams that's already made, but there's still nothing like a bowl of ice cream that I made myself. There's just something that flips my switch. All right, we've got that folded in. Now we're going to put about 4 teaspoons of vanilla in here. We're really going to give it a little kick. All right, we've got our vanilla in there. We're going to fold that in. And then last but not least, we're going to fold in just fresh sweetened whipped cream. And we're just going to fold down and over, down and over. All right, we've got that mixed up. And all we're going to do now is pour this baby on into our pan, getting out every bite of that cream. I'm going to put this into the freezer and let it freeze until it's firm enough to either slice or dip it. And when you serve it, you can either scoop it out for individual servings, or you can put it out as one big piece for a party display. Either way, it tastes fantastic. And don't go away. You make sure you stick around, because when you come back, I'm going to be playing in the mud.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break.
So, look what I'm doing. I'm back hitting again with a rolling pin. I have crushed up just chocolate wafers. Just a very simple little chocolate wafer that you can buy from the grocery store. Not like the Oreos that we used before that has the white filling. And I've gotten these beaten up very, very fine. And we've got melted butter. And I'm just going to drizzle that into those crumbs. And I'm just going to stir that butter up in there. Get those crumbs moistened. All right. Those look nice and moist. And we're just going to dump those into a greased 9-inch pie pan. And you can kind of do this any way you like. I really get off on getting my hands into my food. I just love it. I love touching it, tasting it, smelling it, and feeling of it. I just love all the senses that it awakens in me. Let me tell you where I got this recipe. There's a restaurant in Savannah called the Chart House, and it's located on River Street, and this is their signature dish. And whenever Michael and I go there for dinner, I don't care how much we've eaten, he refuses to leave until he's had a piece of their mudslide pie. All right, we've got this pressed down in here. I'm going to get out our coffee ice cream. Actually, I've had this out on the counter for a few minutes softening. And this is when the fun starts. This is the mud that I promised you that I was going to be playing in. All right, I've already got some ice cream here softened, but just in case I need some more, I'm going to add this last carton. This is going to be so much fun. It depends on who you're serving as to how many people this is going to feed. All right, here we go. I think we've got that nice and softened and This is such a dirty, nasty job. But you know, somebody has to do it. So it might as well be me. And we're just going to keep piling. Now, there's probably a couple of different ways that you can do this, but this is probably the way I like to do it best. And we're just going to keep piling. And we're going to pile a little bit more. When we think we've got enough, we're going to put on one more scoop. Well, maybe one more. And this is the fun part. I'm going to take that ice cream and just rub him until he's in the shape that I want him. I'm going to quickly throw him in the freezer before he melts anymore. We don't want this boy going soft on us. And I've got one that I did earlier that's all ready to be dressed. He's nice and firm. But before we can serve him, we want to dress him up just a little bit. And I'm going to start by drizzling just a little chocolate over him. Doesn't he just look wonderful? Michael was so excited one night when he came home to see that I had made him one of these pies because he thought the only place he could get it was the Chart House. So he was just beside himself when he realized that he wouldn't have to wait to go somewhere else and I would have it there for him anytime he wanted it. Now you can use any nuts you like, but I prefer walnuts or pecans for that extra crunch. You know, even a little Kahlua would be good poured on this, or a little coffee liqueur. That would be great. Or you could take some more crumbs and just crumble it up. So you can finish him off any way you want to. How delicious does he look? When you come back, we're going to Alaska.
I hope y'all are enjoying the show, and I want to hear from you. Tell me what recipes or videos you'd like to see me make by just leaving a short comment below. Now, let's get back to the show, y'all.
I have beaten egg whites, cream of tartar, and sugar together to give us a nice stiff meringue. And you know, Baked Alaska is an old reliable standby, but I think one of the reasons I love it so is because I can make it and kind of do my own thing. And actually, I had some red velvet cake left over from dinner last night, so that's what I'm going to use in mine tonight. And it's nothing but a nice, moist cake that's got red food coloring in it and just a little bit of cocoa to give it a little bit of a hint of chocolate, but only it's red. And I'm just going to kind of square these up so they'll fit my plates. When I opened my first storefront restaurant, let's see, that was about 11 years ago, and I was still about the only person that I could find that would work for free. So I was doing all my cooking by myself. I had one waitress and me in the kitchen. And I would have couples that would come in and they'd say, oh, tonight's our anniversary, or it's her birthday, it's my wife's birthday, can you do something special for me? So I always recommended that they let me prepare them a Baked Alaska because I knew I could go through my kitchen and find something that would blow them away. So we're going to start by putting a slice of cake down on our plate, and now I'm going to add the ice cream to it. And I thought that strawberry ice cream would be beautiful with the red velvet cake, so that's what I'm using tonight. You know, when people hear the words Baked Alaska, it kind of frightens them because they think, oh gosh, that sounds way too fancy or way too complicated. And it's not at all. It's so simple. Now I've got my red velvet cake. I'm going to put my strawberry ice cream down on that, and I'm going to kind of press it in, and I'm going to top it with another piece of cake and kind of press that down into the ice cream. And then all we're going to do is just frost it with our meringue and run it in a hot oven until those peaks are just a light, wonderful brown. See how simple that is? In fact, The first time I ever read a recipe for baked Alaska, I was a little intimidated and put off. And I thought after reading it, you know, this does not have to scare me or intimidate me. I think I can do it my way and make it very, very user-friendly. And like I said, it was one that I could make very quickly in the restaurant. I could run over and beat up my meringue real quick like and find some cake and find some ice cream, and I was home free, which is about the story of my life. The main thing that you want to worry about when you're putting your Alaska together is you want to make sure that you bring that meringue all the way down and seal it on that plate, because you want to keep that real hot heat from getting into your ice cream and melting it. And I'm going to take my knife and just get me some little peaks going, so when that goes in the oven, those little tips will be nice and brown. If you're having a dinner party and having a few couples over, it's a lot of fun to make this into one big cake and just put it on the table and pass out the spoons and everybody just dig in together. And look at there, we have a dessert that looks like we have just worked ourselves silly on, and you can see I did it in a matter of 5 to 6 minutes. We're gonna run these in the oven until the peaks are nice and brown. But one of the fun things you must do with this dish is to watch it as it goes brown in the oven. A few seconds either way can make all the difference, and there's no set time. I think this one might be ready. And here's how you're gonna know. You should be able to scoop into this mountain of creaminess and have it hot on the outside and icy cold on the inside. When we come back, I get to taste these delicious delights. So y'all join me.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break.
Sometimes when I'm entertaining my guests, I'll get busy, and I have been guilty of forgetting and leaving the ice cream out on the counter and it'll melt. But if I'm serving a good quality ice cream, I never throw it away. You can't refreeze it because it'll crystallize and just be really, really yucky. But you can store it in the refrigerator and it'll make a wonderful topping for another dessert. So remember, never throw out a melted, good top quality ice cream. So today is a celebration on a plate of all the great things we can make for ourselves and for our family. And here I have my crunchy Oreo ice cream, my mile-high mudslide pie, and don't forget the light and delicious baked Alaska. I want to show y'all how I cut my mud pie. They can be a little on the tricky side because they should be very, very hard and very, very high. So I'm going to take my knife, dip it in warm water, and hopefully that knife will just slip right through that frozen ice cream. And this looks about the perfect size for Michael's slice. And you may have to just kind of work the crust away from the pan that it's in. Okay, here it comes. You ready? Look how pretty that came out. And if you like, you can always add a little more chocolate to it, and you can even sprinkle over like amaretto or Irish cream, something like that, if you want to jazz it up a little bit. Oh, it's so good. Michael's really going to enjoy his mile-high pie tonight, but this is what I've been waiting on. It's so good and easy. The red velvet cake and the strawberry ice cream are a dynamite combination together. And speaking of dynamite, I got one more down here that I haven't tasted, and that's our easy homemade Oreo ice cream. And I can't leave him out. Just delicious. It's just crunchy, creamy, and fantastic. But before I go, I gotta have one more bite of this big old tall boy standing right here. It's so good. You know, I have found that the road to life can sometimes get really, really bumpy. But I found that there's two things that have been my saving grace. One is my sense of humor, and the other is a fantastic dessert. And I hope that some of the recipes that I've shared with y'all today will make your road a little bit smoother. So until next time, America, best dishes from my kitchen to yours.
Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.